Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. How are you feeling today? Today, I want to talk with you about wants and needs because we all have them. We all have our wants and needs. Now, if you just pop in, my name is Skywalker Payne, and I am an author, a storytelling energy healer, and the founder of Vibrant Velvet Voice. And today, I want to talk about wants and needs because when we look at them, we can find a way of balancing our wants and our needs with gratitude. So let's look at the wants and needs that are occurring now in our lives. Now, we all want life to go back to the way it was before the pandemic. And some people want life to go back the way it was before the protests. But we all know life is change. And we are in a big change, changes that are due. So, for me, I don't want to go back to the pandemic the way it was before because I know you can never go back and change things to the way they were before. Life does not move that way. It moves forward. So, what we need is a resurgence of caring. Because if people cared for other people as well as for themselves right here in the United States, according to what many people say with just practicing wearing masks and social distancing, we'd be in another place. And people are beginning to see that and to learn that. And to recognize what we need to do is to care for each other. And that's what's important. And to be able to recognize what is good in our lives. And that's where gratitude comes in. Because with gratitude, you look for the good. And as you look for the good, you see it and you want to share it. And you can find solutions to challenges and problems as you look for the good. So, in the big stream of things, if we look for the good and look for what we can be grateful for, we can start to solve a lot of problems. Now, we want things to go back the way they were economically, but they won't. So what do we need now? A new 21st century deal. A new deal for the 21st century. And I, in my humble opinion, and don't know who will listen, but we need a resurgence in our healthcare industry. From the training of janitors, CNAs, techs, to the education of specialist doctors, to the building of new community centers, to the creation of more community health workers, and above all, two things: the recruitment and scholarships and training of Black people, men and women of all ages, to enter healthcare fields because there's a drastic absence of Black people in healthcare. There are more people from overseas working in healthcare than there are Black Americans. And why is that? Ask the people who are protesting. Ask the people who are on the front lines. They know why it is. And this is something that can and needs to be done. This is not the last pandemic. This is not the last urgency or emergency that will face this country. And our healthcare system is woefully inadequate. And it is a shame in what was once the wealthiest country in the world and still claims that. We have more weapons than we do healthcare facilities and people trained. And that is why it is a strain on people. It's something that I, as a retired nurse, see so clearly we can do. And with doing that, we're meeting wants and needs because people want jobs, they want to be healthy, and we need to improve the health care industry and make sure it is about caring, because remember, that is what we need, to care for each other. And finally, what do we want? We all want to be happy. What do we need? We need to practice gratitude to be happy, because it's our desires for the grass is greener on the other side, or what we don't have, and our attachments to not letting go of some things we don't need that lead us to be unhappy. But if we practice gratitude, we learn to be happy with what we have, to recognize we have many things to be happy about. Even here, even if you are and have been sitting all alone in your apartment for 3 months because of the pandemic. If you've been sitting in that apartment, you should be grateful to be able to get an unemployment check. Because if you're listening to this now, you've had some blessings, some help. And that's what's important to remember. And I know from my own experience that gratitude is a superpower, that it opens the door to mindfulness, to confidence, to being able to accept and move with change. That's what gratitude does. And who do we have here? Oh, hi, Tammy. So happy to see you. I'm talking about gratitude. And actually, I was talking about wants and needs. And you're in healthcare, and I was talking about saying what I believe this country needs is a 21st century New Deal to expand healthcare in this country, because it's inadequate. It doesn't have enough black people in it. And we've seen there's a need, and it will filling that need to improve our healthcare system would create jobs. It would get people to be more healthy. All kinds of things could happen. Of course, some things would have to change, but like the insurance industry and some of the pharmaceuticals. So changing the healthcare system and helping people in America means we have to look at money. Another thing I have thought of is that the government needs to have a plan to reimburse landlords and apartment owners so that they don't start creating thousands of homeless people. We're facing some big challenges. And even if you are homeless, there's something you can be grateful for, that you're still alive, that you can get up and try something else, that you can find some help. And that's all we have sometimes, is our gratitude to keep us moving forward. Now, if you know someone who doesn't understand the power of gratitude and isn't able to practice gratitude, I'm including the link to my new mini course on gratitude. It's a course that in 20 days you will have a established gratitude practice every day. And I established that when I, who've been practicing gratitude all my life, needed to have it reinforced. And it happens with everyone. So I've talked a little bit about wants and needs, sent out into the universe what I think needs to be done to help improve this country and help other people. And that's all I can do for today. But be sure I'll be back next week with some more crazy ideas. And I am so happy you stayed, Tammy, and listened. And for anyone who comes later, thank you for dropping by and listening. And if you've listened all the way to the end, please put a #replay and make any comments on what I've said. I'd love to hear from you. Until next week, remember to smile, breathe deeply, and be grateful.